Special announcements and upcoming topics coming up on the Better Sundays podcast at reachkeep.com. Welcome to the Better Sundays podcast, focused, practical, and usable advice for church leaders looking to reach new young families and impact their community. Well, greetings. Good to have you here. We've got some special announcements we're going to make today and some upcoming topics, things that we're going to be covering over the next several months. And I wanted to just get personal here and talk with you just for a few moments. Doing this podcast here from my house. This is my little office in back bedroom, and just excited to be able to spend a little bit of time with you, sort of in a personal nature. Not a lot of teaching here, but some very important information. We have been teaching for the last 18 or so weeks on the whole topic of pastoral communications, the church leadership series we called it, and dealing primarily with how pastors need to communicate within the realm of their people, within their leadership, and different things along that line. Some of the planning, some of the vision, and with the congregation. That has been what we call Season 5 in our podcast, and Season 5 is coming to a close. I really wanted it to go longer. I have a lot more things on communication, but I have shifted the gears a little bit, and we're going to open a whole new season, and it is going to be starting not right away, but in a few weeks. We're going to start Season 6, and Season 6 is going to be covering the idea of pastoral communications and church communications and worker communications as well. And like I say, if you know this, all of this, I've tried to apply this to Sunday school teachers and youth leaders and lots of different levels of communication within the local church. But this one is going to be dealing with the presenter side of communication, the presenting communication. Now, I didn't want to call it preaching because I didn't want to just talk about like preaching where the pastor says, open your Bible and ends with a prayer at the end or whatever. I want to cover everything from the time you walk in front of your crowd till the time that you walk away, whether it is a youth ministry, Sunday school, or for the pulpit ministry. We are going to be talking a lot about illustrations, and I'm going to show you how to give illustrations. I'm going to talk about, how to kind of do what we'd call the call to action. In other words, the response that you're looking for, from your kids or your teens or your adults, or whatever, kind of how to drive towards that. Going to be covering just some real basic things too on how to kind of set the tone and get your congregation and your little flock, whoever they are, listening and ready for you, kind of creating that anticipation. And we're going to deal with something even as simple as how to give, your announcements properly, that they don't become boring and some of that. Folks, I've often said this, your sermon is what you believe, but your announcements are what you're doing about what you believe. And we got a whole series that we're going to be, and it's not full series, but we have a whole bunch of things we're going to be doing on the announcement process and how you can be better at those, because folks, that is absolutely, and if you're a pastor, your announcements are key to where you are taking your church. In other words, well, put it this way, if you're announcing things that's not where your church is going or have no bearing, then you probably shouldn't be announcing them. And we're going to talk about that triage thing and how we're going to do that. That's all going to be in Season 6. Between the two seasons, between 5 and 6, we have the opportunity, and I do, here to do some special teaching on some how-to things that I've been wanting to get to. And our new software that we have, where our podcasts now are residing, allows us to break between the seasons, and I'm really, really excited about that. And so many of you have noticed that we've kind of taken a leaning a lot more towards the visual presentation, and several of these things we want to do for demonstrations and all that are going to be visual, and so thus they're going to show up better on the YouTube side of things, where you get video rather than just the podcast, where it is just simply a microphone and audio. So those of you that are in the podcast arena and subscribe to us on Spotify or Google or Apple, however you're watching these things, we appreciate that very much, and thank you for leaving the reviews. We got some great reviews here. That's been a blessing. But you're going to want to make sure that you go over and find find Reach Keep in the YouTube channel area. So just go to YouTube and type in the words Reach and Keep. And if you type it in the two words, it comes up a little faster, I think, but Reach Keep, all one word, should bring it up there as well. And but if you find those words, you will find all of our podcasts are on there, and you can watch some of those, and then you get the visual component of it, because we just recorded a couple last week that had to do with how to find your church, or how to get your church located on Google Maps, and how to make sure your church is showing up in the Google bar, the Google search bar on the side, how to make sure your data is accurate, and how to put photos. This is a big question we get. How do I get photos of my church onto the Google? And so we've covered all that, and those are visual. Those will be coming out over the next few weeks, and quite a few other things that are of the how-to nature. So very excited about taking a little break here between the two seasons, and theoretically probably ought to call it the season of how-tos or something. But at this point, we'll let the software kind of decide where it falls and how it gets named there. I'm also excited about something else, and this is kind of a big announcement, that we are because we have moved to some new software and made things easier. We've been podcasting now for like 10 years. We've been on, serious internet stuff for, 15 years. Our website was kind of getting very overladen with all sorts of different older technologies, and we recently jumped to a whole new platform that has been complete. You can go to reachkeep.com and see some of the new platform. It's a much cleaner and leaner type of thing, and it really directs now towards us being able to serve you. We have many things on there for, things where you can download and you can upload and you can get, all the things that you want to do, our little mini courses and this and that. We have some coaching things that are available, and we have, that we're announcing now, is one of the new things that's going to be great is group coaching. And I am very, very excited about this, because this is the time of year right now. Once we kind of and if you're watching this at any other time of the year, we happen to be just right before Mother's Day. And so summer is coming here pretty fast. And one of the most important things that a church needs to understand is that summer can be a great big bump and doesn't have to be a slump, okay? A lot of churches lose attendance and lose momentum, and things go downhill quickly in the summer because of travel and just a variety of reasons and things they believe. But our church has always taken a different approach and tried to make it a big bump. In other words, the trajectory goes up, the momentum goes up. And we have successfully done that for years and years and years now. And I am going to be sharing that in a group coaching format. This is totally different than just the regular YouTube channels here for 20 minutes here. This is some very serious commitment stuff from you to be there. It does cost money to be involved, and we have a select group of guys and gals, and we're going to be teaching you how your summer can be the greatest time, and you're going to have some tremendous ministry there. So I wrote a couple things down here that this is, some very specific teaching on how this works. Now, we are not taking quite yet people into it. It is coming very soon, within the next couple of weeks, but we do have a wait list that is ready, and you can just go to reachkeep.com and slash, with a little slash there, and then write the word summer bump, okay? Because that's what we want. We want the summer bump. We want it to go up, okay? So reachkeep.com, summer bump, and I'll put that in the show notes here so that you can get to that as well, and you'll be able to see some of the things that we are doing there, helping you kind of get through. And if Easter was kind of slow for you and Mother's Day doesn't look like it's going to be real good, folks, it is time to learn some new and different techniques. And these are simple things. We're not changing your doctrine. We're not changing your Bible. We're not changing your music. We're not changing any of those things that are important to you. But we will show you some mentality, some thinking, the way that you plan that will help you to do better, much better. And it will change the way that you view things when you take a look at this. And you will come out of the summer with a much better attendance and ready to reach new young families, that's what we call it, and new moms and dads and some of that. I can't guarantee it, obviously. That's not the way things work in our world. But if you listen to the things we say, it's going to be some really good stuff for you. And you need to go and get on the wait list, which is reachkeep.com summer bump. We will then invite you to a webinar where we're going to have some major training on this topic. And from there, we'll be able to funnel a select group. If you're interested, we'll move you further into some very specific Zoom-oriented, face-to-face kind of coaching that we're going to be doing. So real excited about how all these things have been going and looking forward to that. I'm so glad that you're able to join me here for these announcements and some of these upcoming topics. Just stay tuned over the next several weeks because we're going to hit a variety of different topics. Many of them are kind of how-to type of things that people have been asking me about, and it's like, where do I work that in? It's like, you know what? We're just going to close down season 5. We'll get ready for season 6, the whole presentation season, and we'll plop all this stuff in the middle, and I'm grateful for it. So this is Mike here, reachkeep.com. I know this is kind of a different episode for you here, but you need to hit the subscribe button and the little bell that's next to it so you get notification so you can learn some of these things. We're going to talk about how to do your Facebook banners at the top so that they work properly. There's a lot of things about Facebook that are great, but there's some that are terrible, and we're going to show you kind of how to fix some of that. And just at your website, we're going to deal with that. We're going to deal with some very practical things within your local church that are more demonstration-based, and I hope that you enjoy every single bit of it. And if you've enjoyed this, make sure, like say, you hit the share button, the like button, the subscribe button, hit all the buttons that you can there. I appreciate that very much. And when you do that, it really helps us to get out further into the world. And our reach lately has been amazing. I probably had like 20 people join my mailing list and my email list in just the last 2 days. And that's so very, very exciting. A lot of good things going on here at reachkeep.com. And if you're looking for some very specific training on how your ministry can gain that momentum, then you make sure you hit the wait list there at the reachkeep.com summer bump, and we'll see you there pretty soon. So God bless. We will see you here next time with some great demonstrations. Thanks a lot.